How Google, porn, and the birth of Jesus may explain human reproduction cycles. In large, 26th of December 1936, Father Christmas getting a kiss under the mistletoe. Dean. Reader comments 71 share this story. 'Tis the season to be frisky. According to a new study this week in Scientific Reports, Christmas in the U.S. often sees a spike in Google searches for sexy time topics and a surge in tweets dripping with language denoting happy, carefree moods. The online frolicking is followed by a seasonal uptick in births about 9 months later in September. And the U.S. isn't alone in this trend. The study shows other majority Christian countries see similar climaxes in internet romping around celebrations of the birth of Jesus. And majority Muslim countries see them around Eid-Al-Fitr, a joyous religious celebration marking the end of Ramadan. The authors of the study suggest that the online data may show, once and for all, that cultural factors that is happy holidays explain the yearly cyclical patterns of human reproduction. For decades, researchers have debated whether we are seduced en masse by such cultural factors or whether collective moods are swayed by biological factors, responses to changes in daylight, temperature, and so on, or if it's actually some mix of the two. Global explanations for baby boom cycles have been tricky to figure out. Many countries have spotty data on births, and the study authors note it's difficult to glean conclusions from things like condom sales and upticks in sexually transmitted diseases. But the advent of Google and Twitter data, they say, is a gift to human reproductive studies. The authors, led by Luis M. Roca at Indiana University and Joana Gonçalves of the Instituto Gulbenkian de Ciência in Portugal, suggest that the worldwide links between births, collective moods, and interest in sex provide strong converging evidence for the cultural hypothesis. The observed peaks of interest in sex occur around family-oriented religious holidays, across different hemispheres and cultures, and the measured collective mood on these holidays correlates with interest in sex throughout the year, beyond these holidays. O come all ye faithful. For the study, Roca, Gonçalves and colleagues analyzed Google Trend data between 2004 and 2014, normalized by search volume. The researchers looked at changes in searches related to sex, mostly search terms like sex videos, sex porn, and video sex. Of the 70 majority Christian countries that celebrate Christmas on December 25, fully 91% saw a significant increase in sex searches the week of the holiday. Notably, the researchers did not see a 6-month shift in search term patterns in majority Christian countries in the Southern Hemisphere. That might have been the case if sex interests were linked to weather or season-related biological factors rather than the holiday effect. The authors found a similar increase in sex searches around Eid-Al-Fitr in 77% of 30 Muslim-majority countries examined. This trend is particularly favorable for the cultural over the biological hypothesis because the Muslim calendar does not follow the solar calendar. That said, The researchers didn't see such trends around other religious and cultural holidays, such as Easter and American Thanksgiving. The authors turned to Twitter to try to understand the collective moods that linked specifically to the arousing holidays. Parsing language in tweets from 7 countries: Australia, Argentina, Brazil, Chile, Indonesia, Turkey, and the US. The researchers scored the use of words that evoke feelings of calm versus in control, and sad versus happy. They found that during holidays with upticks in sex searches, public moods shifted relatively strongly to happy bins and away from sad ones. They also saw shifts toward calm bins but no clear pull toward in control or controlled. The study only reveals correlations, but the authors speculate that Christmas and Eid-Al-Fitr specifically put people in a loving, family mood. Perhaps people feel a greater motivation to grow their families during holidays when the emphasis is on love and gift-giving to children, Roca hypothesized in a media statement. Though researchers will need to conduct more studies to back that up, Roca argues that the online data studies are valuable. These types of analyses represent a powerful new data source for social science and public policy researchers.